I really appreciate the opportunity to speak today. This is the first time we've been here. I want to congratulate FSO on their great stats for their website. We've had a website since 1990, and we don't have those kind of stats, so that's pretty good. My firm actually was on the pre-internet in we were on the internet in 94, but we were providing access for clients in 1990 through a bulletin board and a PC. So we've been an innovator in our industry for some time. I hope to share with you today a little bit about our niche, which is really a growing niche and one of more importance as people suffer through the downturns that we've seen that have impacted retirement accounts in the United States. And I hope to also give you some insight as to what's happening in Washington, having been in this recent event that was just mentioned, and also having been talking to both the Department of Labor and the IRS about what they're going to be doing in reaction to the downturn and some of the problems that have been seen. So without further ado, I'll get started here. Essentially, we all know about the crisis, and that was elaborated on in great depth by David Wietz this morning. We're in the midst of it. We don't know when we're going to get out of it, but certainly the government is in the process of making change. And one of the interesting aspects of the Future of Finance initiative was that a whole bunch of individuals from the finance and non-finance investment arena convened to try to sort of self-analyze the problems. And to their credit, everybody checked their egos at the door. You had people like Paul Volcker and George Soros and Evan Bayh and Tim Geithner and two Nobel Prize winners in economics, and I can go on, and little old me. I don't know how I snuck in the side door, but I was happy to be there. But in any case, we all broke down into groups and tried to come up with what we can do to suggest improvement and to prevent the kind of problems we've seen. And surprisingly, as I mentioned, people who were representing major hedge funds all felt that they needed more regulation. They weren't being supervised adequately. So they're proposing things that were going to cost them money and were going to create new problems for them, but they thought they were needed. So that was very healthy. And I think you'll be seeing a lot of the things that were suggested in that conference being employed by the administration. We actually presented these to Larry Summers in the White House, and prior to his entrance, we were discussing how to bring forward our recommendations and also what we'd like to hear back from him. And I had been championing one of the 20 that were ultimately selected to go forward, which was to limit foreclosures, because I thought that that was the front door to the problem. And if you continue to have foreclosures, you're going to have more bad capital on the bank's books. People are going to lose their credit rating. They won't be able to buy anything. It's going to turn the economy further south. But surprisingly, the only person that supported me at the time was the associate counsel for the AFL-CIO, out of all the other people, the 86 other people. So the two of us carried it forward, and we were going around the room, and I raised my hand. I said, I don't think it'd be a good idea if we show the ratings, because it shows that the only socioeconomic recommendation that we came forward with is last on the list of priorities, because we rank these by numbers. So I suggest we just leave the numbers off. And the moderator at the time, having heard from me being so vocal to try to get this on the list as the last one on the bottom of the list, was a little fed up. And he said, no, we're not going to change that. We've made up our minds. We're going to leave that ranking there. And I said, fine. So Larry Summers comes in, and the moderator says, well, I'd like to present our recommendation. Stop. He said, I've already got an advanced copy. I've read it all the way through. And I have to say, I'm terribly disappointed that you ranked the only socioeconomic issue last on your list. So I just thought that was amusing that we were right on track in the same vein there. All right, so beyond the fact that there's going to be government reaction and regulations coming forward, and some of those are known and some of them are hypothetical, there's going to be a greater focus on alternative investments. We know about credit default swaps and derivatives, hedge funds. There's going to be a lot more transparency and scrutiny of those. And as a result of that, the regulations are going to be stiffer, and those companies that are holding these assets are going to be under more requirements